I get around people all the time, and I'd be like, oh, you're not really like that. The conscious uplifting person, oh, you're actually kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah.
The gangster, I'll smoke all my ops, oh, you're actually a poodle. The player, oh, I get all the bitches, I'll fuck your bitch. Oh, you actually have no bitches.
Yeah.
Like, I see that shit happen all the time. So it's like,
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to this week's episode of Unquestionable the Podcast. You're with your boy Chris, K3, and we got a special guest, none other than Dregs One, bro. How you doing?
what's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
Appreciate you coming. Sorry about the little mishap earlier, bro.
It's all good. I'm happy to be here.
Nah, bro. Appreciate you coming. Obviously, we want to start off letting people that might not know a little bit more about you tell us who you are, where you're from, and what it is you do, bro.
So I was born and raised in San Francisco, and I got introduced to hip-hop, culture, graffiti, rap real early. I grew up in a neighborhood where a lot of that was going on. I was involved in like after-school programs that were like showing me how to make beats and write rhymes and record. And so I kind of got involved into like the whole underground movement that was happening out there, like kind of around the hyphy movement, really, like early 2000s when I was like I was in school and did my thing, did a lot of different things over the years. I was in education. I was staying in the community stuff, but always doing my music, always doing my art. And I actually got like a more bump during the pandemic, really. And that kind of led me to really take the creative stuff as like my full-time hustle. I was actually in law school too at the time, but I thought I was going to put all this stuff to the side and just be a lawyer. But the hip-hop shit like got bigger, so I was like, I better keep doing it. And that led me to create a content series called History of the Bay. And then I turned that into a podcast, and I've been hosting that for like the last 2.5 years. So basically my life is just revolved around graffiti and music and culture.
No, that's dope, bro.
Sick.
That's dope. Honestly, I never heard that, so I do want to hear a little bit more about the law school thing. Where were you going, bro? And what was the plan with that?
Yeah, so I never did well in school, in high school and things like that. I was always in trouble, but I always like knew I needed like some backup plan to the music stuff. In retrospect, if I could go back, I would have gone even harder in music and like maybe taken like music related courses or something, but I didn't see it that way. So I started off at community college, city college, dropped out, transferred to UC Riverside, dropped out again, transferred to San Francisco State, dropped out again. It's like a 10-year process. By the time I got to San Francisco State, I finally had like black and brown male professors, first time in my life. And they were like pretty much guiding me towards like, you need to go to graduate school. You're hella smart. You got this. This is like 10 years after me graduating high school. So I was looking into graduate programs. I'm like, what about the law? Like, kind of just wanted to do that to like, one, to like make a difference. And then two, just to be like, man, that would be crazy. Like, I was in trouble. I was like catching graffiti cases and getting kicked out of school and suspended. I'm like, man, what if I become a lawyer? And I started preparing, took the test, and I got like a $500,000 scholarship to UC Davis. That's why I ended up in Sacramento for a little while. Graduated there, was like, top 25% of my class. I was like the class speaker at graduation. It was like complete 180.
That's dope.
From where I started. And then I got a job working for like one of the biggest law firms in the world. And I would like move to Palo Alto. And that kind of gave me the opportunity to actually invest into the creative stuff I was doing. So I was like ready to be like, well, I guess this is my life. I got to do this 9-to-5 lawyer thing. I did the music. It was cool, but this is what it is now. And I just kept getting signs like, nah, this is really your passion. Like I really didn't like being a lawyer, to be honest. I'm glad I did it, and like the skills I learned, everything I apply to what I do now. but I didn't enjoy it. And so it kind of just all led me right back to where I started. But now I do this full time professionally, and I'm like way more satisfied.
No, that's dope, bro. That's dope because I mean, shit. Even I've seen it in so many podcasts where they talk about like I think Russell's coined it. Like your job is your first investor. So to even see you say that, and I relate too because I did music and shit. And then when I wanted to go to school, I went business law and was gonna go to law school too because I was thinking, oh, representation. I'll still be around what I want and stuff. But then you look at like billable hours. You look at the real life aspect behind it. Work life balance is with a lawyer is pretty non-existent and stuff, and that's what opened my eyes to be like, okay, maybe look at it in a totally different way.
Yeah, I was in it. I was like even during law school, like 3 years. Now that I look back in it, I took 3 years away from my passion. I wasn't really doing what I was, my music and stuff like that. I was full-time grind, and then when I got into the firm, it's like you said, the work-life balance. You have to have a passion for that.
Exactly.
Because to keep it real, I put in the same hours right now for my podcast or my other projects. I work some nights from the time I wake up till like later at night, but I love it. You feel me? Like I didn't really love the type of law I was doing. So I think it all just goes to show you like you have to follow your passion, but you learn things along the way. Like, I've had illegal hustles too that I've like learned from that's part of my past. You know what I mean? And like all these things, you could do whatever you want, and it all apply towards what really brings you the most joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything translates.
Exactly.
You can learn a lesson. Like I work actually in construction cost engineering, and it's like everything I do there is totally different than the podcast, but it all relates somehow. Like I'm able to take certain lessons or certain confidence from other situations and apply it to a totally different industry because like you said, it all translates.
It all applies. And as an artist too, it's like I draw on all these experiences because I did construction too. I done washed dishes. Worked in kitchens, worked with youth, lawyer, student, rap, visual artist. Like I done all these different things, and all the experience is valuable.
Yeah, and it sounds like everything was like a sum of what you're doing now. Like everything kind of the music, everything, the hobbies, your interests all led to what you're doing now. Can we talk a little bit more about like that early creation of History of the Bay as a series and how you even took those signs to say, oh, this is something bigger than just an online series?
Yeah, so I started doing that because I was doing pretty good musically. I had just done a bunch of stuff for Andre Nicotina. I did a song called Fog Mode, and he was on my album, and then he was taking me on the road. And that's kind of when I was talking about like getting that bump like around the pandemic. I started making more money off my music and getting out there more, but I still wasn't all the way there. So I was like, man, I got to figure out how to get my socials up. And I talked to a consultant, and she told me, like, you really got to be on TikTok. And at the time, TikTok was still kind of new, and people just thought it was like a little kid dance app. Yeah. And she was just like, go on TikTok and look at what works on there. Look at stuff that you like, and then figure out how you could do your version of it. And I seen people talking about like sports and history and like pop culture, and I was like, well, it'd be tight to do this about graffiti or about like Bay Area rap because a lot of people don't know the deep history. So as soon as I started doing that, it popped off because you know how TikTok works with the discovery algorithm, the For You page or whatever. It was just like nonstop notifications. It went on like that for like a good 8 months. Just basically whatever I did, damn near it was working. Yep. Like I had months where I had like 30,000 new followers in like 1 month. It was insane. But I kind of knew like this is gonna come to an end. Like you're not gonna just be viral forever. So like, what does this translate into? And for me, it was like the podcast because also I was a little uncomfortable telling everybody else's story. I would rather get them to tell it, and I knew a lot of these people. Like I knew, a lot of rappers from San Francisco and the Bay Area. I'm like, I could just and graffiti artists. I'm like, I bet they could come on my show. So yeah, that's kind of been my method is like always evolve while you're still hot. Like don't wait till like things start drying up. Like when things are going good, you have to already think of what's next. And so I did the podcast, and then I turned the podcast into an annual event, History of the Bay Day. We're on our third one this year. We're about to announce it like any day now. And yeah, it's allowed me to go into merch and yeah, a bunch of other projects I'm getting ready to roll out too.
No, don't.
I seen a lot of your content just popping up on my For You page, the Unquestionable page, and stuff like that, and it really just like the way that I view it, it's about culture, like the everything that your page represents, who you are as a person, artist, content creator, podcaster. It's just like it represents culture and stuff. Like I see all these great content creation videos with, I think the most recent one that I seen was that one's pretty popular was the Larry June one, where he interviewed Larry June at that concert. How was that, just being able to be in that moment? I'm sure you've been around, I know you've been around all these people, but just Larry June himself, because we look up, we're inspired by Larry June, and just being in that area, being in that moment and stuff, what was it like just being, just at that, moment right there?
Yeah, I mean, I fuck with Larry. Like, we're not like best friends or anything, but like we represent the city, and every time I run into him, it's all love, and you can't be from San Francisco and not see what he's doing. He's easily like the biggest rapper to ever come out of the city, and that makes me proud. You know what I mean? And like the idea, like not when you're not a hater, like. And you're not threatened by anybody else's success. You're actually happy for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I see what he's doing, it's like, man, this is dope. Yeah. But for me, I'm blessed to be in a position to where I get to be in these spaces with a camera and a microphone, doing what I do. So I look at all of it as creativity. So whether I'm drawing, whether I'm in the studio, whether I'm doing a podcast, or whether I'm like talking to Larry on some like backstage thing, it's all creativity. It's all channeling that energy. And so, yeah, when you're to answer your question, I guess when you get to be in spaces with people like that, you kind of know you're doing the right thing. You know? These are all my peers. I don't ever get like starstruck.
Not necessarily. The question wasn't like it's just like just being around those people who encapsulate the same idea, the same like movement as you and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. That's exactly what it is. These are my peers. We're all in the same mission, and I don't look down on anybody. Like to me, your podcast is just as important as mine, and at the same time, I don't look up like, oh my God, you're doing so much amazing. We all do the same thing, man.
Everybody's a grown ass man.
Everybody's an adult. Everybody's trying their best. Everybody's figuring it out, and it's dope to just be around people that, like you said, are on the same mission that you are.
Yeah, most definitely.
And also, like, how does it feel? Like, obviously, that I think the video he's referring to was an Empire event. How does it feel? Working with Empire and being able to bring the people some behind the scenes like moments like that, and how does it feel to kind of bring, like we talked about even before the podcast, you're giving us as the viewer moments that I guess we wouldn't get anywhere else. You couldn't get anywhere else. Like, you know what I'm saying? How I guess is it easy to stay present in that moment of like your mission and everything like that, or sometimes do you get so caught up in the journey that it doesn't really translate like that?
No, I never get caught up in the journey because I've been doing this for so long, and I like now there's a spotlight on it because of the social media, but like it's hard to explain, bro. Like when I was 19, I did a show with Nicotine and Yuck Mouth. Mr. Fab, Big Rich, Drew Down sang. It was my first show. I'm like that's 19.
Yeah,
19. It was
that's
the middle of the hyphy movement. It was like 06. And I did a show and I like stepped off and was like signing autographs. And it's like I've been kind of in this space, so I don't look at it like I don't know. It's just another day in the life. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to play it off because I'm thankful for it. But I learned also to be very calm, like because just as you could be at these big heights, shit could turn around tomorrow and be different. I'm thankful for these moments, and it is a sign that I'm in the right place. Like I said, even being here, the fact that you're interested in talking to me, all these things are like, keep going. Because that's why, to go back to, I'll answer your other question about Empire in a second, but to go back to like the lawyer stuff, like I would have quit all this and stopped being Dregs One if that's where the universe was pointing me. You know what I mean? But it kept pointing me like, nah, like people are enjoying what you do. You're making money off of it. Like, these are good signs. You're not wasting your time. Sometimes you get signs from the universe like, this is a waste of time. Like, I need to find something else to do. So even connecting with Empire like validates that. And really, I want to shout out my boy Trevor Potter, who's a videographer there, and the other production team, Jasmine Ontiveros, and the other people I work with. But really, my connection with Empire comes from Ghazi showing me love, recognizing what I do. I met Ghazi at a Larry June concert, actually, at the Fox Theater. If you remember, he did like 3 nights there. So it's like, I'll just tell you this story because it's all like leads to where I am now. It's like I have a relationship with Herm Lewis, who is, you might know from some of Larry's appearances, and Herm is like, come to this show. I'm like, bet. We show up, we're chilling, hanging out, and then I'm with my girl, and then she taps me and she's like, who's that guy? And I turn around and it's Ghazi, and I'm like, oh, what's up, Ghazi? And we meet and we talk and we just connect because he's from the city, I'm from the city. We value culture. He's like, come to my studio, come record, I got you. And he was just very generous and open with his resources. And it took a year after that meeting to really finalize everything. But he just looked out because he believes in people like me. And it's just been a blessing that he's been so generous. I'm not used to that, actually. A lot of people at his level are very closed, and they're not about like just doing stuff for the love. So it has been a blessing to connect like that.
No, that's dope. And I've seen his recent. He just did an interview with Abe from Vallejo. If you've seen what she's been doing, she raps and does interviews and stuff. And it's dope to see that he's continuously not only giving back to his community with these events and by bringing them even a platform this close, but also, you know, by always lending a platform to people and things.
He's generous. He's a generous guy, man. He's serious about his business, and as you can see with what Empire has done, but I can't imagine anybody having anything negative to say about him. He's just like a good dude, and I try to tell him as often as I can how much I appreciate the opportunities that he's given me.
No, that's dope. That's dope. And go ahead.
Well, I wanted to get more into the graffiti side of, you know, just wanted to, you know, as you being a historian and you being like, you know, a man, you know, who's been through it all and stuff. I really wanted to, for the people who don't know, like I wanted to get some more understanding. If you could walk us through like your background within graffiti, were you actually doing the tagging, and were you, you know, just kind of wanted to get some more insight on that because I'm pretty interested in the graffiti. I've seen the videos myself, so I just wanted, you know, for the people who don't know. I wanted to get into that.
And the recent tag you posted with that shit was dope.
That's crazy. Oh, the thing I did today? Oh, thanks. That's like a big part of my life, man. So I've told the story a lot, but like hip hop, like rap and graffiti kind of came into my life on the same day. Like the day I decided to start doing graffiti is kind of when I decided to start doing rap. So like it's a very organic thing in San Francisco. The time I grew up in, it's like a rite of passage of tagging and like being on the buses and hitting up, and you meet people, and it's to me it's less about the art and more about the community because I've met my best friends through doing graffiti, and I was never like the king of style, the king of the city graffiti. I was just a regular kid that participated in it. And as I got older, I got more into like the style and really the techniques of painting. But yeah, when I was young, I was just tagging every day, and it's a crazy lifestyle, I'll be honest. You're like out all night, you're sneaking out of the house. I would like sneak out and go tag around the city and then like just go to school and like sleep.
Just like it's normal.
Yeah, like because I went to a crazy school where I knew I could just get away with having my head on the desk all day. So, you know, my parents thought I was like getting up early and taking the bus, and really I was like running around and like, you know, like hanging out with homeless people and like crack dealers and like just climbing on rooftops and just wild shit. And it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly because it's a crazy lifestyle. So there's beef, there's police consequences. I had a case as a juvenile and I had a case as an adult, and now I'm like crispy clean. Like I know the police like watch me. Very like I know for a fact that they watch me, so I'm very careful. But yeah, I'm still in love. Like I still try to connect to that feeling of when I was 14, and I just fell in love with the way the paint looks on the wall and the style, and I've been blessed to have that in my life.
That's dope. I had to mention, how to, you know, just get that, you know, get that out there just for the people, you know, who don't know and stuff. I just, you know, seen all the content that you created with their graffiti and stuff, and I was just like, man, I had to mention that at least.
Yeah, graffiti helps me kind of stand out from other people in the rap space because it's kind of underrepresented. And I get so much love from graffiti writers around the world, and I've kind of built that community through my page, so it's a big part of who I am. I still try to like draw or paint or just be involved as much as I can.
I do want to ask, just more from an outsider standpoint, that I don't know too much about this aspect of graffiti, but walk us through kind of that era that you were going through, and like, was it, you know, were there like there used to be like tag groups and stuff like that,
Crews,
right?
Yeah.
Crews like that. Were you a part of crews and things of that nature, or was it like how did that go out back then?
We were just all like we were all dumb kids that were trying to be part of this. So I have a crew of like close. I'm in a couple crews now, but like the crew I started with, it was like MR crew, Mob Regime. That was just our name for the crew. It's just your friends, basically. But yeah, it gets treacherous because there's like friendly battles over like styles and getting up, and then there's actual beef. And it's usually over the dumbest shit ever, like you went over me or whatever, you know what I mean, or like haters or just cross people out for no reason. And the era I grew up in was pretty treacherous because you would have people get on the bus. One wrong person getting on the bus would change your whole life. You know what I mean? And there were older dudes that would try to get you for your paint or for your markers. You would have to stand up. You would have to stand up against them. And it was crazy because every neighborhood had kind of like people running around that were into that, and most of them are no longer writing. There's only a few that are like still stick with it to like make something out of it, but it's like I said, it's a rite of passage. So like I know most people I grew up with in the city at one point were involved with graffiti.
That's dope. Yeah.
Is there any type of, because I know that you said that you're in the youth and stuff like that a lot. Have you ever done any type of like lessons, any type of like, hey, this is like how you tag, like this is how you do this, this is how you do that, like, you know, putting the youth on for the right reasons, not, you know, to get into anything else.
I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of that over the years. I started a youth program. I was doing workshops. I've done murals in schools. I've worked with elementary, middle school, high school. It's really just more about the confidence. A lot of kids don't think they can do it. So it's not necessarily like every now and then you get some kid that's like definitely into graffiti and you're like, oh, okay, let me put you on. But some of them just, they need that boost to like, oh, I can do it. Like, nobody showed me that. You know what I mean? It took me a long time to get my skills up. So it's really just the technique of like, this is how you draw the letters. What do you want to say? What do you want to express? Here's the technique. I broke it down to a very simple method where I could teach anybody the basics of how to use the spray paint. And I have murals running in like several schools in San Francisco and Oakland.
That's dope. That's dope. And it sounds like you're creating a safe space for like the next generation of artists that are getting into that same style.
I hope so. I hope that, you know, in 10 years or so I run into some grown up who's like, I've been doing this since you came to class. But it's hard to say. This new generation of kids is very different. The pandemic babies, and it's like way different. I'm actually like taking a hiatus from doing that work right now just because it's not registering the same with the kids. So now I try to just do it by action and just by modeling. Like when I was a kid, to be honest, a lot of the older dudes in graffiti or just in general in the city were like dirtbags. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of grimy shit going on back then that I thought was pretty cool, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, like this guy's kind of an asshole. Like I like his graffiti, but like
as a grown man, you're looking at him like I wouldn't move like that.
Like I remember that like damn, these dudes was all like on drugs and drunk and like just kind of living grimy. So I try to model like, hey, you can actually be cool, like, because I'm pretty chill, I'm pretty approachable. I don't hate. I don't like clown younger artists. When they see me, it's love. I get a lot of love from like young graffiti writers, 14, 15, 13 even, like that just when they see me they get excited because they know it's like respect.
Yeah. Is that something you wanna see continue to grow in this area and continue to blossom and see a bigger light on it? Because like you said, you are one of the platforms that separates yourself through covering that material. Is that something you'd like to see kind of grow with this influx of content coming in?
I think it's just something that's going to happen organically. For me, again, part of what I was saying earlier about being calm is I kind of just do what I do. I don't try to put too much weight on what the impact is going to be, but I do know that if you're putting stuff out there and it makes people feel good, even for 60 seconds of watching some on Instagram, then you're doing something good. That has a ripple effect.
Yeah. It'll transcend and turn into something bigger.
I think so. Yeah. And I think the graffiti culture is not going anywhere, and I'm a small fish in a big pond when it comes to that because there's just so many things happening around the world. It's a global culture now, and it's not dying out. So I think that's dope.
No, 100%. 100%. I don't think it will ever die out. I guess what I was looking at is like you don't see it covered as, I guess, often as you see other things covered. But again, I guess that's more of you have to be looking for those.
There's a lot more now than there used to be, but it's also still an illegal lifestyle. Yeah. So there's only so much. Like people try to sometimes every now and then someone will hate and get at me sideways about me exposing too much, and I'm like, bro, I'm very mindful about not incriminating nobody and protecting identity and all that type of stuff. So it's an underground thing, and I think to a degree it should stay underground. But it's dope that there's other podcasts, there's tutorials, there's TikToks. I feel like just have fun with it, man. Like graffiti is one of those things a lot of people try to gatekeep. And that's kind of what I was telling earlier about like the older assholes back in the day. Like graffiti should only be this. Like if it was up to those people, there would be no documentaries. There would be no, professional equipment. It would just be so limited, and it wouldn't be where it is now. You have to allow it to grow. Like you have to allow graffiti to go onto YouTube and TikTok and whatever else is coming in the future. No,
definitely, because it's the circle of life right now with just content as a whole. Yeah, it's gonna.
This is where we're at as a society. Like, and trust me, like I'm very mindful of like the negative effects of social media, and I definitely don't get lost in the sauce. It's just something that I do that I enjoy, and other people seem to enjoy it, and it's not going anywhere. So. You can fight, you can say, no AI, no TikTok, no this, no that, but it's like it's coming. So let's figure out how to use it in a positive way instead of just fighting the inevitable.
No, that's dope. And can we kind of expand on that a little bit more? How have you, I mean, obviously you've been saying it this whole podcast, kind of, you stay in a middle ground. You don't get lost in the highs, don't get lost in the lows. So I'm sure that's part of the reason, but what do you credit your ability to kind of adapt with all the different changes, whether it's been social media, whether it's been the different generations? What do you credit that adaptability to?
I think I've just been in it for so long. And when I first came out, I was like I said, I was like 19. We were like printing our own CDs. We had like a CD duplicator, and we were like printing our own. We burn a CD off the computer, print it on the duplicator, and go out and sell mixtapes, and then like walk home with like $1,000. Like damn, you know, like that's how we started.
Awesome.
And then like right around that time though was when the internet was becoming what it is. So I like, you know how like 2009, 2010, 11, Dat Piff, all these free mixtapes.
Yeah. Two Dope Boys.
All that
stuff, yeah.
I was doing that. I did that in 07. January 1st, 07. I did a mixtape for free. And people were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, but it was getting downloaded in Poland and Japan and Germany. Like people to this day were like, I had that, you know? Yeah. So I kind of always been able to like stay with the times. And I think that's also like the Bay Area hustle in me. I'm very curious. I'm like, how does this work? You know, how can we use this? I saw the beginning of Twitter. The first time I heard of Twitter, Tracks a Million, was on the online message board. Like, y'all fuck with Twitter? This shit's kind of dope. And I was like, And then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, okay. So I just kind of always keep my ear to the street in that sense. And I think that's just kind of some base shit too, because we're hustlers. And when I get around like a JT the Bigger Figure or even a La Russell or a Larry June, like I see the same kind of spirit. Like we're trying to figure out how to bust plays. So that doesn't really serve you to just be stuck in your old ways and be resistant to whatever's coming out.
No. Transitioning to music, you know, I seen, you know, you do shows and all that stuff. You still, anything in the works? You still making music? Because I know that you're a jack of all trades. You got content going on, podcasts going on. So I just kind of wanted to kind of hone in on that. If you know, you still,
thank you
as
for
an artist,
asking. Yeah, thank you. I put the music to the side in a sense to get my podcast to where it is now, but I never stopped recording, and I have a bunch of stuff in the works. I don't want to say too early, but right now I'm getting my strategy up to where I can put this stuff out and it's going to do what it's supposed to do and also sound the way it's got to sound. But I have some exciting projects. I have some exciting collaborations and I have some exciting ideas. And I will say on your podcast that when we look back on this conversation in 3, 4, 5 months, you're going to see like, oh, damn, like I'm about to create something different to get this music out. And one thing I want to say too is like, for you guys or anybody watching is like, people are so caught up in numbers and views and streams and money amounts, but you don't need to be like a mainstream artist on the top of the charts to like get some money and to get some fans and to do some shows. So I say all that to say that I'm preparing to like pioneer a very different, unique approach to putting out music, and that'll be happening very soon.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see because, like you said, that hustle mentality, it's running through your veins. So I'm excited to see, and I'm sure it's going to be something that we can even look at and, you know, take inspiration from for something.
We'll do a part 2 to this podcast. So I'll come back and then follow up, and then I'll be like, see what I was talking about? This is what happened. But it's all rooted around, like you said, like this identity of culture. And I'm really trying to channel that through the music as well, and the content, the merch, and everything else that I drop around it. It's all in the planning stages right now.
No, I mean I'm excited because I'm a big believer of that same sentiment that you were saying. Is like everybody gets caught up in how many numbers you need, but even we had a recent interview where they say like, you know, put 100 people in that room right now and see how big it is. Like we get so caught up, we get so caught up in, you know, I don't know. We just get so caught up in what we don't have or in a have-not thought process rather than kind of watering that grass that we do got.
Appearances. And I saw that clip, and shout out to Baby Gas because, we had a similar conversation when he was on my platform. And I like that because he gets it. And, if you get 100 people to spend $20 each, you just made 2 bands.
Exactly.
That's a nice day's work right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think people are caught up in appearances, and then also on another note, like the more behind the scenes I get, the more fake everything starts to seem. Yeah. So don't get caught up trying to compare yourself to something that's not even true.
Mm-hmm.
That'll mess you up.
Yeah, the whole time you're trying to catch up to something that's, like you said, it's not even real.
It's
or
an illusion.
It's just when the camera's on you. That's
exactly
what that is. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get so caught up in comparison or trying to, just catch up when a lot of times you just get...
You got it all right here in front of you.
Exactly.
This is real. Like, if you take away the likes and the views, it's like, look at what we're doing right now. You got your camera set up, you got your microphones, we're having a good conversation. Nothing else needs to be said. This is dope. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you take a song, whether it's getting 100 views or 100 million views, if it's dope, it's dope.
Exactly.
I look at stuff and I don't, oh, this only has 2.4 thousand views. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying it in the moment. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to do, for me to do my music at this stage, at this age, I'm 38 years old. It's like kind of unheard of for rappers to keep. I'm still looking for my breakthrough in a sense of the music, but I want to show people that none of that shit even matters. Don't second guess yourself. Just do the things you love.
No, yeah, because it'll shine.
Exactly.
It'll reach the right people.
Exactly.
You just got to let the world, and it, like you said, sometimes it's low numbers at first, and that's what will discourage you or something. But we get so caught up in like the number side, but we've said it in so many podcasts, like controversy sells right now. Everything that, like, if you want to be authentic, you want to be yourself, like, you can't compare yourself to what's doing the most numbers and this, that, the other, because it's gimmicky, it's controversy, it's something like that. When it comes to like the super, super duper mainstream, like, huge numbers, it's a lot of like controversy. And, you could get caught up in being like, damn, this inspirational clip didn't do the same numbers that clip of somebody getting punched on a podcast did, or, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, well, that's not the audience you want to feed, and that's not, if people are coming to you for those things, you gotta start chasing those things, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not worth it, man.
It's not.
It's not worth it. I seen how that shit goes, and it's definitely the higher road, and it's the longer road when you're not trying to catch a wave that might be negative. And it is weird. We have to ask ourselves, like, because I'm sure we all watch the podcast Punching Clips.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like when them prank dudes get beat up.
No, I like watching it, don't get me wrong, but it's sad that that's all that catches like a mainstream attention.
So we have to ask, like, why, right?
Exactly.
And then, okay, once we get that why, well, how can we take that and apply it to something that's dope?
Exactly.
How can a message of inspiration grab your attention as much as like a BBL model?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fight people's attention. People actually, it's a misconception that people only want negativity, and that's why, like, I use this example, like the hottest rapper in the world, the biggest rapper in the world right now is Kendrick Lamar, and he's not. And of course, he just had a battle. But he actually has a message, and he has substance, and he's not doing drill shit, and he's not disrespecting women, and he's not doing crazy. So there is an audience for that. I think sometimes we just get caught up in, like you said, what's right in front of us on this phone, and then be like, oh, well, this is all they want. And it's like, nah, you have to give them, And if that's true to you, if that negativity is, then cool, go for it.
Yeah. But
you don't have to box yourself into that controversy lane just to get some clicks.
Exactly. And I feel like sometimes you'll get discouraged trying to, sometimes, like you said, but it's all an appearance. It's all like an expectation you're putting on yourself or something. And like you said, you might look at it as like, oh, the competition or like the views, you're going against other podcasts or other this or other areas, but realistically your competition is, like you said, BBL models, it's fights, it's grind face, it's like you're competing for, so ultimately, if you have to chase for anything or do anything that doesn't feel dope or authentic to you, it's gonna end up, just being a facade, like you said, and that's why I think so much shit is a facade nowadays.
No, it definitely is. And then I think on the rap side too, especially, like, I get around people all the time, and I'd be like, oh, you're not really like that. Mm-hmm. The conscious, uplifting person, oh, you're actually kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah.
The gangster, I'll smoke all my ops, oh, you're actually a poodle. The player, I get all the bitches, I'll fuck your bitch. Oh, you actually have no bitches.
Yeah.
Like, I see that shit happen all the time. So it's like, I can't get caught up in any type of comparison.
Yeah.
And what you just said about podcast competition, there's no such thing as
I agree.
podcast competition. If anything, I think podcasters need to go on each other's platforms and support each other's platforms more, because the way the algorithm works, if I come on here and my name pops up, I guarantee you I'm gonna get at least one person that never heard of me before. Now they're gonna be in my algorithm.
Exactly.
Or for example, if I had Baby Gas on my platform, you had him on yours. Same thing. Somebody who's rocking with Gas is gonna see my shit, and it might lead them to yours, or vice versa. So there's plenty of real estate on the internet for everybody to coexist.
No, and we're big believers on that. Like we try to have podcasts on a lot because we believe in cross pollination. We believe in, even if we don't have a huge audience, we do have an audience that might not have heard of somebody. So if we like their platform or things like that, we're for sure the first one that's gonna reach out and stuff. And shout out, It Can't Be That Bad podcast. We're actually gonna be going on that one soon, and I'm super excited because, again, like you said, like he came on ours. We end up getting a lot of views on that one just because of clips and things. And I think it'll translate the other way just as well. And it'll end up being mutually beneficial. And I think we shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes by being closed off to doing that, or thinking like looking at, certain ways. Because Sacramento-based podcasts, we've done one with For the Souls. Shout out to you guys. But it has been hard to get certain podcasts like maybe to come on and things. And you look at it like that way, kind of where it's like, hey, it's not a competition. If anything, it's just gonna.
I enjoy the conversation.
Help
too.
us.
The
Like, it's gonna help
conversation's always
everybody.
good as well too. So that's why I enjoyed talking to other podcasters and stuff.
Yeah, and for us, it was more of this. It was just to sit down with cool people that we think they're doing dope, intentional shit, and just chop it up. Learn more about them.
Right.
Inform and inspire people that are watching, maybe, but also have a good time. Be raw and authentic while we're at it. Kind of be ourselves and joke around if that's what the vibe is, but be serious if that's what the vibe is. Talk about sports if that's what the vibe is.
So part of what I was getting at too about like the calmness that I look at everything is also not being affected by what other people do or don't do. I don't look at I try as hard as I can. I'm not gonna say I never do, because we all do, but I try as much as possible not to compare myself to anybody in a negative way or a positive way. I try not to look at what somebody else is doing and be like, oh, they got all that going on over there. That should be me. I try not to do that. I try not to look at other people and be like, oh, my shit's way bigger than theirs. I got more. I really try to avoid that. And I treat everybody equally. And at the same time, I just stay in my own lane. So if there's an opportunity to connect like this, let's do it. But other than that, if you rock with me or don't rock with me, the mission stays the same. And I'm going to keep going forward regardless, and hopefully stay open to the point to where our paths can cross when they're meant to cross.
Exactly. No, that's been a big thing too, because like you said, sometimes just the timing is not right, or things to just staying open has been big for us, for sure. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, it's hard. There are times where, you get flaked out crazy on somebody where you traveled and you're just sitting there just like, is this not for me? Like, it's hard. Sometimes you will compare yourself to, maybe if I had more, they would respect it more. Maybe this, but like you said, sometimes you have to ground yourself in the mission and the purpose.
You can't take none of that personal.
Yeah.
Because that don't got nothing to do with you. People are flaky. People are weird. People are insecure. And it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. The only thing you have under control is, how do I respond to this?
Exactly.
Because I deal with that same shit you talking about all the time. Frustration and disappointment, and then I have to kind of realign myself and be like, it's not about them, it's just about me and what I got going on.
Recenter yourself in the purpose, and sometimes like that, having it, and that's why mission statements are so important. People don't realize that, but when you have a mission statement, you have something to go back to and remind yourself.
You got to stick to the script.
Exactly.
I did wanted to kind of get into at least, we've talked about everything so far, but the history of the Bay, like I see it on the hat and stuff like that. I really wanted to, just kind of hone in on the history of the Bay and what its face value of face value of it, and what you like want to bring to people about the history of the Bay and stuff. Like, well, for one, I wanted to ask, like, were you like very heavy on the history, like that content first, or was it something that just like, oh shit, this is taking off? Like, I really wanted to kind of get a little more insight on the history of the Bay, and also too, if you could walk us through how you're on your third event of the history of the Bay too.
Yes, that's a pretty interesting question. I mean, the one part of it, like, where does the actual history come from? Where I was trying to get across is, so maybe in this conversation you picked up on like some of my past of being exposed to all this stuff hella early. Like a lot of the things that I come up on my podcast, I witnessed. Like, I am one of those people that was outside during the hyphy movement. I definitely like wiggled through these neighborhoods in San Francisco where the stuff that you see in the rap music was happening. I went to the back in the day, like, these things did not happen on the screen. They happened at certain hubs. They happened at venues. They happened at stores. They happened on the streets. And I was there for that. And I was always very curious. Like, the music was rare. You had to have the physical CD. You had to have the physical tape. You couldn't just pull this off the internet. So some of these rare Mac Dre CDs or Andre Nicotina CDs, it's like, I got that one. And I was always that kid that was reading the inside of the CDs to be like, oh, they recorded at this studio. That's the same studio from the RBL. Oh, that's who made this beat. The shout outs, oh, they fuck with each other. I didn't even know they fuck with each other. I was always soaking that game. And then, like I said, I know so many of these people from before History of the Bay. Like, I done had conversations with Nicotina where we're just sitting back talking about what this shit was like. So I done soaked up, and same on the graffiti side too, all the history from my homies. So I was always just soaking that up. So the mission was really nothing more than me taking what I'm passionate about and expressing it. I never was like, I am the definitive source on the Bay Area. Like, some people took it that way, and that's on them. But for me, I'm just like, this shit's dope. Y'all know about this?
This is my interest. Let me show you. Let me share it with you.
And I was always like that, like I said, with the CDs and shit. Like, there was like almost a competition with my friends of like, have you heard this? Yeah, I heard this. Have you heard that? Man, I got that. You got this? It's like, oh shit, no, actually, I don't got that. And it was like, what the fuck is this? I never seen that before. Like, it was that kind of excitement that I was trying to channel. And then as far as turning it into a platform, there's a story I tell sometimes that when I was doing my music with like my song Fog Mode, I was making that run. I was copping promos, and I was trying to cop some promo from this service that I had used previously, and they're like, we got this, and this. And I was like, all right, well, I was trying to negotiate. Let me get this and this. But also, why don't you throw in that, and it's, I'll give you this. And they're like, no. And I was like, well, what you mean? Come on, like, I spent all this money, which I don't want that. I just want, like, and they weren't fucking with me. And then they're like, we only do this for people we have extensive business relationship with. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I've been fucking with y'all for hella long. Like, and they're like, if you spend $10,000, this is what we can offer. If you spend 15, this is what. If you spend 20, and I'm like, damn, you really hitting these kids over the head for 20 racks? I was like, man, it's cool. I could take that. I was like, why wouldn't I take that 20 racks and invest it in my own platform? And then they fucked up. They lit a fire under me. They're like, you're more than welcome to. Like, good luck with that. And I was like, all right, bet. And that kind of showed me that I have to have my own platform. And that's what History of the Bay became. And to go on to the day party, it was like I said, the social media content is dope, but it gets stale. Podcast is dope, but it gets stale. You always have to have something new, whether it's merch, whatever, format, change the studio location. You have to keep switching it up. So the idea of the day party was take the podcast and turn it into an in-person experience. Music, DJs, dancers, graffiti artists, vendors, museum, yeah, all that. Put all that under one roof, and then people go, and it's like you're like stepping into this world. And so we did that first time through. It went really well. Second year, it got even bigger. Third year has been the most challenging. And we're like falling behind and almost like, damn, are we going to have to cancel this? And just right now, like literally like within the last week or two, I got it locked in and I'm about to announce it. I'll share it with y'all off the air because I'm not sure when it's going to come out. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be the third one, and I hope to do at least 10 more of these every year.
Congrats, bro. That's dope. And you're bringing people an experience like that is one of a kind, and but also even the content. Like again, I want to say it again. Like this shit is one of a kind. Like for real, it's a first-hand account, just like you said, of somebody who's been there and had the curiosity and the questions back then, and now gets to ask them. And it's cool to like be able to see that firsthand. It brings like an authenticity and a vibe that you can't get anywhere else. Can't be replicated.
Yeah, it's just
kind of get lost in it too.
Exactly, it's enthusiasm, and it brings back a excitement for me at least, because I was that kid that was looking through the CD book and trying to see who was producer on what, who wrote on what, like all this, and that's how I found my favorite artist, was who was fucking with who and this, that, the other. And I noticed with that influx of I don't want to speak in, I don't want to generalize, because like you said, maybe I'm just not seeing it, and but I just noticed with that influx of so much content, so many people are passive listeners, so many people are passive with their interests, and that enthusiasm and excitement just isn't as there as it used to.
I think if you channel, and this is what I want the viewer to get away from this, is if you channel that enthusiasm into whatever you do, it's gonna come across. Yeah, so exactly. Like if I like money, but I'm not like a super finance, crypto, stock trading type of dude. But if I was, that's what my content would be about. I like anime here and there, but I'm not like a super anime head, manga, all that. If I was, that's what my content would be. I just love hip hop, graffiti, and I love the Bay Area. So that's what I put out there, and I think that authenticity translated.
Yeah. No, it did, and it's dope. It's just another testament of like, there's the right crowd. You just got to keep pushing that mission, and
that's why I'm naming these examples. Food, whatever. Look at my boy Snack Sensei. You know what I mean? What he's doing with his podcast, or his platform. Cars. You know what I mean? Whatever you're into, you can make that into a platform for yourself just by expressing how much you love that shit.
Exactly, and how enthusiastic you are. And sometimes people get so lost in, oh, that's corny, or this, that, the other, and it's just like,
you're always gonna find a crowd.
You just got to share your interests with people. It seems like, bro, honestly, it seems from the outside looking in like you've made a career of not only investing in your interests, but also sharing your interests with the world, and it resonating, and people kind of relating, being there. I remember when I was a kid and was in there, or somebody who's just curious about it. Like, again, the Showbanger interview, I loved that interview because I grew up on HBK Tough. I remember being at Buffalo Wild Wings where we worked, and Showbanger would come in and we'd be like, bro, I just served Showbanger and all this type of stuff. And then to see like how you did the interview with his dad and show the two generations, show everything, like from somebody who only knows Showbanger from HBK, like I wouldn't have even known Showtime and all this other, and that was just such a dope perspective. So again, like I'll keep wanting to say that like the content you're bringing is it's one of a kind and it's dope, bro, and it's something that I strive to be similar in with my interest. You know what I'm saying? I want to create that same excitement and curiosity out of a viewer.
Yeah, that's all. If you're true to what you love, like the rest will fall into place. It's really that simple. And like to what you're saying earlier too, like I wasn't really afraid of failing. Like I put that first TikTok about the history of San Francisco graffiti. I posted it, and I didn't think nothing was gonna happen. Whatever. I'll check on it later. I woke up the next day. It was like bling 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 bling. But before that, I had tried all types of other videos. I had tried all types of posts. Nothing. Even to this day, I might post something, tomorrow that might get 100 likes. It's like you never know what's gonna hit. But it doesn't matter because I love all of it the same. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's something I've even learned from a business standpoint of like fail fast. Like do it. Just get the first thing out of the way. And if you're going to fail fast because you'll learn faster. Like we talked about earlier, we handcuffed ourselves by thinking we needed all this stuff ready to start. And we like took twice the time to start as it took to elevate. You get what I'm saying? It's like sometimes if your fear or hesitancy, whatever you're looking for, that success or that drive, it might not even be success. It might just be the signs. Like you've talked about the signs to keep going. Those signs to keep going are on the other side of the fear or on the other side of the work. And sometimes I think that fear and doubt of yourself is what'll hold you back.
Once you commit, like once you really make a commitment, honest commitment, then the rest just falls into place.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure with you guys, like, I don't know how many episodes you're on right now, but I'm sure you're like, this ain't your last one. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you guys are like, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's just keep doing it. Let's just stay consistent. Let's keep booking our guests, and we'll see what happens. But the commitment is not, well, we did 3 episodes. This didn't happen. This is going to be kind of hard. Let's just do something else. That's not the way it's supposed to work. You know what I mean?
The commitment is get better every time, or just
keep doing it. It's just process.
Yeah,
art is all about process. People think art is about results. It's not. It's about process. Mm-hmm. It's literally about process. Mm-hmm. It's about making the song. It's about writing the rap. It's about how good you feel when you paint. It's about how good you feel when you do stand up. It's about how good you feel when you do a podcast. Mm-hmm. We're not right now. We're in the moment. We're not thinking about going viral. Yeah. Maybe we will. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Maybe we won't. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna do another podcast next week. It don't matter.
Exactly.
We had to get over that.
Yeah. No, and that's beautiful, like you said, because I think with art, people don't realize that the beauty of the art and the love for the art comes in that process, or comes while creating it. It doesn't come for the return. Yeah, if you get a return, you're happy. Like, I'm being able to get a return from your art. But like, realistically, the most fulfillment you get from any type of art comes during the creation of that art.
Yeah, the return, the money and all this stuff, because I'm very serious about my business and all that shit too. That's all sustainability for me to create more.
Exactly.
That's all it is. Mm-hmm. I have months where I did really well and my bills are paid, and I can take my wife out to a nice dinner or whatever, buy my dog some extra good dog food, everything's going, buy myself some fly shit. And then I have months where I'm like, fuck, I gotta fucking scramble and I gotta make some moves happen. So, but the more secure I am, which thankfully right now in this moment I'm very secure, the more secure I am financially, the more I can create in peace. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. It's not about having a fucking fancy ass car and all these material things. If you get them, dope. I like that shit too, but it's more about the security. Like, I need millions of dollars so I never have to worry. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm in it for. Exactly. I'm not in it for millions for the dollars themselves. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I done had money and I done lost money. I've been in all sides of the spectrum. It's really about the sustainability to stay in that process and keep creating more shit.
Because with that security, it affords you more creativity.
It affords you time.
Exactly.
If I have to do shit to pay my bills and I got to bust some plays and make some calls and write some emails and do some other shit, that's time that I could be, brother, like the most productive thing for me to do is like sit in my house and draw, bro. Yeah. Or like make a beat, you know what I mean? Like just without worrying about, this beat's gonna go platinum. I don't know. Whatever. No, it's just like I feel like making a beat. The more I'm in that space, it's crazy enough to say, like, the more I just doodle or draw or write a rap or whatever, the more shit just happens. Mm-hmm. Shit just happens.
No, for real. And it's important that, like you said, that state, like the flow state or whatever, you see it in sports, you see it in music, you see it in art, you see it in so many things. Like that, like you said, getting lost in it, that flow state of just existing in the moment and kind of just getting caught up, shit will just happen.
It just happens.
It works itself out.
It doesn't happen if you're like, it's all on the line here. Oh, this fucking podcast better fucking blow up.
Yeah.
When you're all tense, your reaction time slows down.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Like it's the same thing. Like when you're all tense, even in your thought, like you don't realize, but you have some type of chain on you holding you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you're in that flow state, you're able to just flow and like you go with things. You make, I dare to say, you make the most out of what's dealt to you. Because again, you're just caught in that flow state.
All you really need is that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That, okay, this might work out, this might not work out, but I'm finna do it no matter what. That's what I was talking about earlier. Now that I realized, like, when I was getting out of high school, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? All right, I was doing my music, but I was like, I better go to school.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I didn't realize you have to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
If I had been more business-minded towards the music or whatever, that's what I would have done instead of having, like, a side job, this, that. I'm grateful for all the experiences now. I wouldn't change nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But now I am all in.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, I don't ever want to have another 9 to 5 again. If I have to, for whatever reason, cool. But really, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what I got to go through. This is just what I'm doing.
You know, and I relate to that a lot because, like I said, I grew up doing a lot of music stuff, and then when I was going to college and everything, I had that same feeling of like, well, I need a plan B or need something. So I'm studying, I'm trying to split my time and do both. Then something, if you start failing in school or doing a little worse, or not failing, I didn't fail, but you know, you start getting a C or something, you should get higher. Then you're spending less time on the music, going to class more, and then you get so caught up that you're kind of pulling yourself away type thing. And I was a believer of like, oh, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So I'm like trying to, okay, well, I'll do business law, I'll try to be around music and sports still. So again, like I was just pulling myself further and further, and it took me getting a career, kind of take myself from all of that and just sitting there like looking around and like, shit, I never committed to myself or to my passion or to my creativity or anything like that. Although I did do it, I have the track record of it. I wasn't committed, like you said. And it's like that commitment is all that matters, I guess. Once we started this podcast, that's where I was like, this isn't going to be my like music shit again. This isn't going to be something you could look at. Hey, remember when you did this? Like, no, I'm committed to continuing to just have an outlet to, you know, and that's how we all were. We were just like, bro, we're committed. And I know me personally, just hearing that, like I could just relate. Cause like I said, I was in that moment where I was just like trying to do everything just to make the passion work, when it's like, bro, the passion, well, you just have to commit to actually showing up.
A lot of people go through that, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just hard to just show up for yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Failure ain't an option too. Like in my opinion, that's the way I view a lot of stuff. In my opinion, failure is not an option, because if you actually set yourself, you set yourself up right, you're not gonna fail.
You're not. No.
Failure ain't an option, and I think that's the way I look at it with this podcast and everything else that we do in our daily lives. I just think that, you know, we don't want to, you know, have that 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality and just be like, oh, what happened to your little podcast, or what happened and stuff like that. Like, persistence is key. So it's just like we keep going, and that applies to anything in daily life. Persistence is key. Keep going, and you're gonna see the results.
Something is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not be the something that you envisioned or that you even expected or hoped for. Someone might come on here, you might have a conversation that might change your life.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a conversation that changes somebody else's life. You might connect with a sponsor. You might get hired by some other place. You don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying, like just sitting down and drawing. Mm-hmm. Like something is going to happen. The commitment is seeing it all the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then committing to yourself that you're going to keep showing up. Because like you said, what you think you want to be that end result might not even be, it might be totally far right from what you actually end up doing.
That shit might actually suck.
Exactly. You might end up with what meant to be and look at it like, damn, I didn't even want what I was thinking I wanted. But you won't find out unless you just keep showing up for yourself and committing.
And that's why I say, like, I really have learned this to, like, stay grounded, stay in the process. I'll tell you one more funny, like, Andre Nicotine story, because I learned so much from him. Shout out to Dre. I don't get to tell him this enough, but I learned so much from him. One time we did a show, and it was fucking super cracking, sold out, hella fun. I got paid, he got paid, sold hella merch, it was dope. And then, like, a couple days later, I, like, went to go kick it with him, and I'm like, what'd you think of that show? And he was like, I didn't think nothing of that show. And I was like, what? He was like, I didn't think nothing of that shit. On to the next. And I was like, damn. But like that actually makes so much sense because he wasn't walking around like, dude, that's so great. I sold it out. He's just like, cool, let's do another one. And that's what I mean of like process. So like you can't get too caught up in the lows. Oh, this is never gonna work out. And then you also can't get too caught up in the highs of like, oh, I'm fucking doing it. Because there's always more to be done. And that's, again, it's just like stay grounded in that process. Just stay grounded in that moment. Like the goal is just to keep creating. That's all it is.
No, definitely. And that's the beauty of creation too, is that you get to keep creating, bro. And again, I think if I learned anything from life and even this conversation and everything was just like that commitment to yourself is what literally will get you on that other side of
that's
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it might not be what you're expecting, it might not be something, but just one foot in front of the other, you'll get to the finish.
But it has to be an honest commitment.
Yeah.
That's where it comes. That's if you don't have that honest commitment, that's where you end up like, fuck that podcast we did 4 years ago. We should try to do that again. It's like I have a lot of unreleased songs, albums, projects, whatever that I'm like, fuck. Dude, I was doing YouTube content, if you could look it up, in like 2010, 2009. I was doing a show.
Yeah.
I did like 4 episodes and it was like, nah. I'm like, bruh, if I think about it now, if I had stayed with that for 15 years, I would be so much farther ahead. So it has to be, and it's no regrets and what it should have, could have, but it's just now I understand, like, you have to honestly commit. You can't half-ass.
Yeah. No, 100%. You have to commit to the portfolio. You have to commit to just keep creating, even if it's not going to reach the crowd yet or whatever.
Even if you don't feel like it, even if you're having a bad day, no matter what. Like now I know for me too, like doing the podcast, in the beginning every now and then I would skip a week, shit happens. Now I'm like, fuck that. Every week an episode has to drop. I don't care if it's my biggest viewed one or I don't give a fuck. I just have to have one.
100%. Because it not only creates a reliability with the consumer, it so many different things, and then ultimately the things you always think the least about end up doing the most too, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The shit that you don't feel great about, or damn, that conversation wasn't that good. Shit, numbers go like that, and you're like, damn, do I just not know what's interesting? But this is really, you just can't, you'll never call it.
Absolutely. And that's when you're just not tied to outcome. You're just tied to process. Exactly. You're just committed to process.
Committed to process and building that foundation and that infrastructure just to continue being able to show up every week, even if it's not,
it's going to turn into something.
Yeah, 100%.
Something will happen.
Something. We don't know what, but something will happen from it. It could turn into, shit, a podcast could turn into a whole production. Like you said, you might do one conversation, somebody hires you, it turns it into something else or something. You never know. You got to be open-minded and kind of in that flow state like we talked about and do what's grounded in the mission or grounded in your meaning. But I feel like you said, as long as you keep showing up, something's gonna come.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got 100 plus episodes already.
100
plus. You got 100 plus episodes, man. That's crazy. That's just literally a testament to like you keep on going. Like you keep on going, and hats off to you, bro. Because 100 plus episodes is a really good portfolio and stuff. Not to mention your wide range of portfolio that you already have. I wanted to ask too, because you talked about you have been on tour with Andre Nicotina. I think that Andre Nicotina is like one of those like Bay Area guys. Like he is a legend. Like that guy's just a legend. Like I'm sure you have content. Have you been able to like, just a personal question, not personal question, but like have you been able to like sit down and kind of just reflect on all the things that you've done, like with him and stuff like that? Has there been any? Because I personally haven't. If there is a video out there, like, just wanted to kind of ask this, like, have you had the opportunity to sit down with the guy and just be like, just chopping it up and talking about what you guys have, done?
Nah, I haven't talked to him in a few years. Okay. I should hit him up. I've been meaning to, but I haven't talked to him in a few years. It was actually a pretty brief time period. So if you check out our song called Fog Mode, there's a video for it, everything. That shit's dope. That's just a Frisco classic in my eyes. Yeah. But yeah, we kind of went on to do different things. I'll share. Actually, he asked me not to make a history video about him.
About him?
Really?
Like I hit him up like, yo, I'm doing this shit on TikTok. It's getting hella views. He's like, nah. He was like, I don't want people all up in my shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I respect it. And yeah, so I just kind of been doing this, and he's been doing his thing, but nah, he's not like I said, he. I always tell him I appreciate him when I see him, because there's just so many conversations of him putting a battery in my back, and it's just like the first Frisco rapper I ever heard of, so I kind of always grew up listening to him. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're overdue for a conversation.
You might have to get that one in the works and just be like, hey man, you never know. You never know. Yeah. Honestly, I see the vision. I think that conversation would just. I just feel that already. I can feel it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think also it's like sometimes people come into your life at the right time. Yeah, and I think he was always pushing me. He's like, just do your shit. Like, he gave me a lot of motivation. He's like, do your fucking shit. Like, drop your fucking albums. Be on fucking live stream. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Get the bitches. Get the bitches to work for you. He was just like always giving me like good ass
plays and shit.
Yeah, and I was like,
keeping it real with you.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually. He's like, you hella fucking handsome and tall. Like, do something for the hoes. Get the bitches. Like, he would always just tell me shit, and 9 times out of 10, I would just do it. But I think his thing was always like, bro, I'm already like 30 years deep in the game. Yeah. I'm like towards the end of my career. Like, just go off and do you. Yeah. That's kind of like where we left things. Like, you're fucking successful. You're fine. This is your shit. You're a rap cat. Just go do your shit. Yeah. So that's kind of where we left it. But I need to like just hit him up and be like, bro, let's just go get a drink or something real quick.
No, yeah. I mean, if that one ever does come out, I definitely would love to hear the conversation. Yeah. But yeah, it's dope to even hear, because like you said, it seems like he put the battery in your back or shifted some of your thoughts and vision to be
he
what
gave me
it
a
is
lot
today.
of game, and
you know?
I'm actually kind of glad, because I don't get to speak on it very often, but I don't want to put too much on it. But you know, if he ever sees this, I hope he does know. And I've told him, but I hope he knows. Like, yeah, some of them conversations was just like, oh shit. Like I said, that time I started leveling up, like around the pandemic, some of that was a direct result of him being like, you need to go fucking do this shit. Like, you're fucking dope. You're still young. You still got this. You got time. Yeah. Like, oh shit, really? Yes, go. Here, let's go do a show. I'll show you. Da-da-da-da. Like, at the time, he paid me more than I ever made for doing a show. You know what I mean? Like, he just looked out for me, in a lot of ways. So I'm glad I get to share that.
No, that's dope. That's dope to hear, bro. And before we get out of here, bro, we like to ask everybody if there's a piece of advice that kind of, obviously you've given so much advice already. Don't want to downcredit that, but if there's a piece of advice that you kind of have grounded yourself in, or kind of, live your life by, that you could share with a supporter, a watcher, or somebody who's watching, you know what I'm saying? What would that piece of advice be?
Man, it's hard to think of what we haven't already covered.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, you did give a lot of advice already, but
that standalone, that hard hitter. Yeah.
I mean, something we haven't really talked about is like, just take care of yourself, man. Take care of your mind, your body, and your soul, bro, and your spirit. Just take care of yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in that. Invest in your health. Invest in your wellness. Invest in all these little things are so hard to fucking do. Being an adult, just do that type of shit. I don't know if that's the best fucking gem, but like that's kind of where I'm on right now. Of like trying to eat healthy. You know what I mean? Like I'm 38. I ain't getting any younger. I'm not trying to fall off. I'm trying to just really invest in my health. That's another thing. Is like if you're disciplined in that, it will only contribute to the other stuff you're trying to do.
Exactly. You better your life in one aspect, the other aspects will kind of raise with it. You know what I'm saying? So, no, that's beautiful advice. Again, before we get out of here, I do want to know what can we look forward to from Dregs One. Obviously, we got some music we can look forward to, and it's going to be a different release. So we're excited to hear about that. But what can we look forward to outside of that? Outside of History of the Bay Day, and then also for History of the Bay.
So outside of that, what I will say is there's another platform coming. That's all I will say right now. There's another platform in the works. There's an evolution. History of the Bay is not going anywhere, but there's going to be more on top of it, and it's going to be even bigger and even better. So that's all I can say right now.
It sounds exciting, bro. It sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And like you said, bro, we gotta double it back and get you back on here after the music comes out for sure.
Man, for sure. I actually, when the music is out, I'll hit you up because I'll be doing like press runs and all that stuff.
Yeah. Awesome.
We'll be there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
we'll
come to the event. I'll get you guys the information when we log on. If you guys do like in-person media stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll get you guys some media passes to come out.
I bet. No, we're there. We're there. No problem. We're there.
Some, more Bay Area spaces and stuff like that. I mean, we're in the Bay, but talking about like more live events with like bigger
definitely.
Yeah, come on through.
Yeah. No, we're there. Like I said, no question, we're there for sure. But thank you again for coming, bro. This was a great one. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Tune in again next week. Later.
Thanks, fellas.